Hello, my name is Johnie Perryman, and this is part three, no, part four of the Family Trust. This is part four. And there's a few more things that I wanted to say to you this time. There was, I think it was Wynton Marsalis, a piano player that used to play with Miles Davis. Now, Miles Davis liked to do freestyle, where people just create music as they play. And so they were doing a freestyle live session before a crowd, and the piano player was playing his butt off. It was his turn to play. But he made a mistake and he hit a note. And this note was no way fitting into what they were playing. And it just sounded wrong. And there was no way anyone could take it that he could think of that would make this note okay. He wanted to crawl under the piano and hide himself because of this note that he hit. But this was freestyle, and freestyle means that there's nothing written down. You just play as a band as the music take you. And so when he played that note, Miles Davis assumed that that's where he was going anyway. And so the next few notes that Miles Davis played on his trump made that one note he hit sound beautiful. So all of it flowed together, all of it sounded well. We have a tendency sometimes to hit a wrong note in life, and we give up, we go hide, we just do all the things that shows that we are ashamed of that note. But the one thing that we don't do is make that note sound good or take it in the other direction that we're supposed to be going in. Just like is a popular saying that the word for chaos and the word for opportunity is the same word in the Chinese language. That's not exactly true, but the first part, jai, of the word opportunity is also part of the word for chaos. But in every chaos, there is an opportunity. Now, when I said now is the time to invest, let me give you a couple of ideas. For instance, over in Senegal, they came up with a test for the coronavirus, and it's a test that costs $1. Now, there are people that are questioning this test. Now, what I suggest is that a group of people get together and bring that test to the United States so that we can use it here. And when I suggested to someone, the first thing they said was, the Food and Drug Administration won't let you do that. Now, I don't see how they could stop you, because the Food and Drug Administration is supposed to prevent you from eating food that ain't good for you or taking drugs that ain't good for you. But this test that costs $1, the only thing you put in your body or put in your mouth is a cotton swab. You take a cotton swab and you swab a piece of your throat and you pull it out. Now, how can anybody say that is dangerous for you? That is not dangerous for you. And then you take that swab and then you put it on something, and it tells you within 10 minutes whether you have the coronavirus or not. It might only be right 95% of the time. But you have a lot better sense of whether you got the coronavirus or not than people that don't get any tests at all. Now, if you were to buy that test, I'm not saying sell it for $1. They can sell it for $1 if they want to. But if I was going to put a group of people together to buy it from the people in Senegal, I would pay $3 for the test. Let them make some profit, or at the very least, have enough money so they can use it to test 2 other people. Bring it to the United States. Now, when you bring it to the United States, you got to be paid for shipping. If it's go by ship, it goes by ship. When it gets to the United States, somebody got to be paid to unload it. And then someone has to be paid to distribute it. And so even though it starts out at $1, it's going to cost you more than $1 in the end. It might cost you, let's say, $10. Now, if it's $10 that it costs and you're selling it for $20, the Food and Drug Administration and the big pharmacies, the big pharmaceutical companies, they're not going to like that. You know, they got insulin they sell for $500 a shot. And that's their benchmark. They're looking for things like that, things to make a lot of money off of. The government put $27 billion into research for a test. So what are they going to think about you coming up with a $1 test? Nobody's going to like it, except for the people that buy it. If you can sell that test for $20, somebody only had to pay $20 to find out whether or not they have the coronavirus. If you sold 1 million of those tests, that's $20 million. If you sold 3 million of those tests, just look at how much money that is. Now that's $20 million. That's the gross. If it's costing you $10 million, then all you get is $10 million from it. Now, when you're selling the test, you might buy $5,000 worth of the test to start with, and then the next time after you sell some, you might buy $20,000 worth, and then $100,000 worth, and then $1 million worth. But it will just keep going up. Now, when I say that now is an opportunity, I mean not an opportunity to get $1,200 or $2,000, but an opportunity to become a millionaire or a billionaire. If this country is spending $27 billion for something, and you get 2 of them billion, well, then you ain't doing bad at all. Now, another thing that I'm thinking of is you look at Madagascar. Now, Madagascar, they have what they call a cure for the coronavirus. Now, they ain't going to want that cure in the United States because it's too damn cheap. But the fact that it's too cheap, that's to your benefit. That means you can play the game. Now, I think that the cure that they have in Madagascar is all natural cures that is made from food that you eat anyway, made from teas that you drink anyway, made from things that we've been consuming in this country individually for almost as long as the country has been a country. How can they stop that? They can only stop it if you claim that this cures coronavirus. Now, the fact that they have coronavirus in Madagascar, but they don't have one death from coronavirus, not one. Something must be working over there. And so if they're not having one death from coronavirus, I would think that the thing for us to do is to get their cure over here. And if white folks don't want to take it, let black people take it. It's saving black people over in Madagascar. Let it save black people here. Now, when I say now is the time to do something, what I'm talking about is that it don't take a lot of money. It just takes effort. Now, I heard something said the other day on television that, let me see. Luck is the plan of the lazy or something, or luck is, in other words, if you're lazy, you can look for luck in order to make it. I saw some women on the internet, some black women, that had sold their beauty products online, and they got over $1 million in 7 hours. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You can say it takes money to make money. I have a nephew that's a consultant, and for this one contract, he needed $23,000 to buy this program, and the city that he was consulting for was going to pay him for it after he bought it, and as part of their payment for his consultant work with the city. He didn't have $23,000, so he thought, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I told him, I said, now what you do is you go ahead and get a contract with the city. Get the city to sign a contract showing that they're going to pay you X number of dollars for what you're doing. You take this contract either to the bank or to the people that are selling the product and use that as collateral to get to $23,000. If you take it to the people that are selling the product, well then you might even be able to talk them down to $10,000 for it and have another $13,000, to set in the bank somewhere. But what I'm saying is that it's not as difficult as people think it is. Now, as far as using contracts for collateral is concerned, I was on the Small Business Export Finance Assistance Center in Seattle that brought in over $300 million a year into the state. And that's what we did. That's all we used for collateral for the different companies that was trying to get loan was their contracts they had in other countries to provide products for them. And they needed the money. If they needed $10 million to create a product, and they had a contract where they were going to get $50 million, they would take that contract for $50 million to the bank. The bank would loan them $10 million. They would make whatever it is they're going to sell it. They would send it to them to get their $50 million and pay the bank. And so that was done all the time. It's still being done all the time in the state of Washington. And so all I'm saying is there are several ways in order to get money to do what you need to do here. There are several different opportunities during this coronavirus to cash in on this virus, and it won't take much money. All it takes is a few people to get together. All it'll take is a few dollars to get together, and then to work together to do something. If you do something, you can make this work for you. That's all I have for right now. I just thought I would throw that out there.